thank you very, very much for joining us on this interview. We would really like to start with your introduction and a little bit about how long you've been working with Nippon and what's your profile.
Yeah, sure. So currently, I'm the deputy head for the ETF business with Nippon India Mutual Fund. And over last few years, I have been part of Benchmark Mutual Fund, which pioneered ETFs in India. And thereon, Benchmark was sold to Goldman Sachs. So they had bought the whole of the ETF business of Benchmark. So from Benchmark, we had moved to Goldman Sachs. And Goldman Sachs ETF business was bought by Reliance Mutual Fund, which is now Nippon India Mutual Fund. So apart from business development, etc., my core part is to look into the product development piece also for the ETF business for Nippon India Mutual Fund. So that is just a brief profile of myself. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. I'll start with my question. The first question to you is Nippon India Nifty Small Cap 250 Index Fund is the second small cap index fund of the industry. What is the objective behind this launch?
Yeah, sure. See, at Nippon India Mutual Fund, if you see our passive business, we are the most comprehensive bouquet of passive products in the industry and spread across asset classes. Equities, we have ETFs and index funds on equities. We have ETFs on fixed income, and we have ETFs on commodity side as well. Now, within equities, if you see our overall products, we have funds representing large cap segment of the market, funds representing mid cap segment of the market. So one piece which was missing in our product bouquet was on the small cap side. So this the objective, one of the rationale and the objective of launching this fund was to complete our product bouquet on the passive side by launching a fund representing the small cap segment of the market, and ultimately providing building blocks to the investors while they construct their portfolio using large, mid and small cap passive funds. So this is one of the primary objectives that we are launching this fund. Yeah.
Great, sir. My next question, therefore, is why should investors go with a passive small cap fund instead of opting for an actively managed small cap fund?
Sure. So see, it is not, I will say it is not either or. I'll say rather active and a passive strategy, both can complement each other. So generally what we tell our investors is you should divide your portfolio into core and satellite. And your core can be your active funds or passive funds depending on your risk appetite. So assuming you are a first-time investor and you new to the market, ideally your portfolio should have the core part of your portfolio should be your passive funds represented by the index funds, and your satellite part can be your active funds. Not only your active funds, you can have active funds in your satellite part. You can have PMSs, you can have AIFs, you can have all sorts of products where an investor feels or the partner feels, distributor partner feels that they can generate alpha on behalf of the investors. So generally by core part, you capture the beta of the market, which is your market returns, and the satellite part is your alpha part. Somewhere where you feel that the fund manager can generate alpha on your behalf, that represents your satellite part. So now you may have active funds as well as passive funds on the small cap segment. Both can be used as a combination in core and satellite to build the portfolio rather than choosing either of them, basically. Yeah.
Superb. So in that case, there's another question that we can think of at this point is, with this launch, Nippon will have both active and passively managed small cap funds, right? The track record of Nippon India small cap fund has been good. In your opinion, is it wise for investors to take exposure to both these funds in the portfolio?
Yes. So again, my previous question is more a reflection to your this question that yes, see, our small cap fund on the active side has been performing very well. But as I said to you, ideally the investor should divide his portfolio into core and satellite. Hence, he should use both the funds in combination. So if you are investing in small cap, not necessarily that you invest 100% or say whatever portion you are allocating to small cap, not necessarily that you invest that whole of that portion to active fund or whole of that portion to a passive index fund like ours. You can use that in combination. You can divide it equally, or you can have a little bit of more tilt towards the passive funds if you are new to the market, because ultimately by investing in an index fund, you are reducing the non-systemic risk which is there in actively managed portfolio, which is your fund manager, your stock selection risk, and your sector selection risk. So all those risks are basically get reduced while you are investing in a passive fund. Hence, as I said to you, you should use both the funds in combination to construct your overall portfolio, rather than investing in either of them. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much for that. Another question that mostly we get from investors is small cap stocks are relatively less liquid as compared to large cap stocks.
Yeah.
Is liquidity a concern for Nippon India Nifty Small Cap 250 Index Fund?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I'll just answer your question. Yes, generally you would have seen whenever a lot of discussions happening on the active funds that basically become challenging for fund managers to manage the small cap funds if the corpus is increased. And but on the passive side, I'll say it is relatively liquidity is relatively lesser of a challenge, mainly because if you see our index, it is investing in not 1, 2 or 10 stocks or 15 to 30 stocks. It is investing in 250 stocks, which are representing the small cap segment in India out of the top 500 stocks. So if you see the stocks which are part of the index, they are the index methodology which is used is the stocks have to be ranked based on their full market capitalization, and the ranking has to be 250 first to 500 to be included in the index. So not only does the index consider the market capitalization while including the stock, there are various other criteria like the stock should have at least 10% of the free float available for investment, and certain number of trading days. For example, 90% of the days which are considered under review while selecting the stock, 90% of the days the underlying stock should have been traded in the market. So a lot of these criteria filters are applied while including a particular stock in the index. And given that the index is considering constructed with 250 stocks, the largest stock in the index has not more than 2% weightage as of 15th of September. And if I take the overall portfolio, almost close to 45% of the portfolio is represented by 50 stocks, and 55% of the portfolio in terms of the weightage is represented by 200 stocks, which shows that it's a very, very extremely well diversified index with no concentration towards a particular stock or a particular sector or a particular industry. Actually, even in terms of, if you see, even in terms of industry, it is much diversified even compared to Nifty 50. It has almost 35 industry which are part of this index basically. Hence, it's a very well diversified portfolio. Due to which we do not see liquidity as major constraint, given that the weightages represented by the constituents are very small basically, and it's not at all a concentrated index. Yeah.
So overall, what is the Nippon India Mutual Fund's view on future potential of small cap stocks, especially when the last 3 years have been very volatile for small caps?
Right. So yes, as you rightly pointed out, if you see the calendar year performance of the small caps related to large caps over last 15 years, generally small caps tend to bounce back in every calendar year after seeing the relative underperformance to the large caps. I'll say last 2 years have been an abbreviation wherein the small caps have not been able to bounce back. But if you see 2020, calendar year 2020, And again, I'll just put a disclaimer that here we have considered the year-to-date returns till 15th of September 2020. So large cap represented by Nifty 100, it has underperformed by almost 4 to 5. It has given a negative return of 4 to 5%, whereas small cap 250 index has given a positive return of almost 7 to 7.5%. Which shows that after 2 years of underperformance, maybe small caps are ready to bounce back, and maybe this may be a good entry point for the investors to get into the small cap fund. One more data point I would like to highlight is not only the calendar year performance, but if you take the rolling returns of the small cap index vis-a-vis large cap index like say Nifty 50 or say or a Nifty 500, which represent the overall market, over a period of 5 to 7 years, you take any rolling period of 5 to 7 years between 2010 to 2020, small cap index has outperformed the Nifty 50 and Nifty 500 by a good margin, ranging between almost 50 basis points to almost 1.5 to 2%, basically 200 basis points. Which shows that if you remain invested in the small cap segment over a long-term period, you tend to capture the market performance of the small cap segment, and in turn, this segment has generally seen that it has been relatively able to beat the large cap segment and the overall market in long-term basis. So short terms, you may face the hiccups, you ignore the noise, and as a long-term investor, remain invested over a period of 7 to 10 years to capture the small cap performance, basically small cap market segment performance.
Thank you so much, Himenji, for being with us. And this was a really interesting overview of what is the market. Thank you very much for your expertise and your knowledge. I'm pretty sure investors will be very happy listening to this interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.